to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you all for coming to our regularly scheduled meeting of Board 5. First item we have is a public hearing on the preliminary budget. Do we have anyone wishing to speak on the preliminary budget? No? Okay.
So you want to close that out, and I'll read a little bit about what Gary's going to do.
Okay. Do we have Con Edison here? Okay, so next order of business, the microphone's over there, is a presentation by Con Edison, customer arrears, recovery, and energy saving. So they're going to give the money back they took from you.
I wish. Does this mean I have more time?
Introduce yourself, okay. Please.
Hi, everyone. Good to be back at Community Board 5. Does anybody remember me from last time?
No. Who are you?
No?
Who are you?
You don't remember me? The guy who was screaming on top of my lungs that all your bills were going to go up? Yeah. Do you believe me now, right? Okay. So first things first is arrears recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, since 2019, we did not shut off service for non-payment. Due to obvious reasons, COVID, people are having hard times, economy, so forth. In 2025, we are going to resume our credit operations. Does anybody know, credit and collection operations, does anybody know how much arrears people are in right now, currently, with the company? Millions? Billions. A little under 1.5 billion. Now let me say 1.5 billion, right? Just to give you an idea of how much that is, that's enough to run the entire Department of Transportation for a year. That's enough to fund, please Google it. That's enough to fund not only the Queensborough President's Office, but all 14 community boards in Queens for 140 years. So it's got to that point, and now we are going to start collecting again. Now, what does this mean for you as well as your constituents? It means please give us a call if you are in arrears. The worst thing you could do is not call us and not work something out. Please give us a call. We have many payment programs. Each board member has this brochure in front of them. And for the public, if you want, extra copies are over there. So also, I could provide PDF copies for the board that you could share with your constituents. There's a lot of programs out there for customers who are in need. Our energy affordability program, just in 2024, gave out $300 million in credits for those who are on our energy affordability program. If you qualify for it, please, and you could go to coned.com/EAP to see the qualifications. We also have an energy share program, which is a $200 per year annual credit that someone could receive. The guidelines are, as long as you made one good faith payment within the year, and the income guidelines are the HEAP guidelines. So if anybody you know, and this is not just for people in arrears, if anybody you know has a HEAP payment, got a HEAP grant, you automatically qualify for an energy share grant.
Explain HEAP to some people in the audience that don't know.
The HEAP program is a federally funded home energy assistance program. So you could just Google HEAP. Google HEAP, and it's the first .gov link. Don't go to a different link by accident. It must be the .gov, because there's a lot of scams going around too in regards to that. So all of that information is here. Again, if you want a copy, please help yourself, as well as I could provide a PDF. Now, before I transition into energy savings, I just want to quickly read out some stats for everyone. Since 2019, New Yorkers are paying 32% more in property taxes. Since 2019, inflation rose 21%. Since 2019, New Yorkers are spending 20% more on water. So I just want all of that to sink in. Costs for groceries since 2019 rose 28%. That's the environment we are all living in right now. Con Edison is also, the rates are going up. We had a rate case in 2022. It started in 2023, and we spread it out up to 2025. In 2026, we are requesting additional monies. And let me explain why. Is anybody here familiar with the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act that was passed in 2019? All right, so for those who do not know, it's a climate action law. Basically, 70% of the electricity that we buy and generate must be from renewable sources. And that might not seem like a lot, but please understand that until recently, 70% of the electricity that we use is generated by burning gas. So it needs to flip that around by 2030. By 2040, and there's other laws in there, and by 2050, the end goal is zero emissions. Okay? So basically, in layman's terms, that basically means you're gonna have to electrify everything, right? Now, if everybody is electrifying stuff, including the airports, including all of MTA, including everyone here, what's that going to do? That's going to drive up the demand, right? The electricity demand is going to be through the roof. So we basically have to get our grid ready for that. And just give me a quick moment. Let me just read what New York State is spending on this. More than $35 billion for 120 large-scale renewable and transmission projects across the state. $6.8 billion to reduce building emissions. $1.8 billion to scale up solar. More than $1 billion for clean transportation initiatives. More than $1.6 billion in New York Green Bank commitments. That's over $46 billion that New York State is spending. What's not on this list is the grid. They're not spending this money on the grid. Con Ed has to spend the money to upgrade our grid. And it is a really big process. Early estimates, and I told you this last time, it's going to cost us more than what New York State spent. There is no way that with these expenses, your rates are going to go down. There's no way. Anybody who tells you different is lying to you. Those people on the phone that call you telling you they work for Con Ed, saying that you're paying too much, saying there's no way your rates are going to go down. It's only going to go up. I'm sorry to say it like this, but there's no way. It's only going to continue to go up. It's only going to continue. In 2023, $2.4 billion was paid in property taxes. In 2026, we estimate it to be $3.2 billion in property taxes. These are all going up. Please.
The chair Could you wait or you need to ask now?
Well, it's okay. Thank you, but in a minute. So why am I saying all of this, right? Why am I, again, I sound like a doomsday pastor, right? Is everything's going to go up? It means the only way you could save money on your electricity and gas bill is by using less. That's the only way to curb usage, curb habits, as well as take advantage of all the programs available to help you do this. It's very mean for New York State as well as Con Ed to be like, you have to do this, and not help you with it. There's so many programs. Please grab one of these. There's a lot of programs in here that could help you. For instance, for a one-family home, weatherization. Weatherization is huge. There's no point in putting on air conditioning or heating if everything is escaping your home. That's like leaving your refrigerator door just open. It's going to just keep draining energy, and it's going to raise your bill. If you, as a homeowner, if you pay $800 in weatherization upgrades, Con Ed would match $2,000. We will pay $2,000. So for a $2,800 upgrade, you'll be paying $8. We'll be paying 70%, which is $2,000. There's many, many programs in here that help you, as well as different tips. I always tell people, please curb your usage, and now you have the means to do so. Who here has a smart meter? Nobody? Everybody here should have a smart meter. Who here has a My Account on Con Ed, basically a Con Ed online account? Did you know that you could check your usage every 15 minutes? Did anybody here ever diet before? Go on a diet, lose weight? Does it work like this? I'll see how much weight I lose on April 1st. No, it doesn't work like that. You count your calories day by day. The old way of reading your meter was like that. From today, we'll go read your meter on April 1st. We have a lump sum. That's how much you use during this time period, where you're not really sure what you used, what appliances is doing what. You don't know that. But now you have a way to see exact usage. That cousin that's over your house that says they never use anything while you're working, you could see exactly how much that person is using when you're out of the house. That new TV you got, that was Energy Star, great, right? You could see how much additional burden, additional usage that is doing. You could do all of this and curb your usage, because at this point, if rates are only going up, then how else is your bill going to go down, right? If you're using exact same as you're doing when rates were what they were before they went up, your bills are going to go up. It's impossible for it not to. Does everybody here know that any degree over 68 degrees on your thermostat in the winter, each degree is a 3% increase. 3% increase on your... So those people that have their thermostat set at 80, wearing a t-shirt at home, don't do that. Like, please, you know, winter's supposed to be cold. Summer's supposed to be hot. You know, that I don't need to tell everyone that, but it's something that we often forget. TV is the number one criminal that we do not think about. It's just always on, right? And for those people who live alone, you need that white noise. The radio is a much better option than a TV. A TV literally is pixels of electricity making picture. You know? So please, everyone, please conserve, because that's the only way. And now I am going to open it up for questions, because I know there's going to be so many.
Okay, so I'm taking the privilege of being first. So at one time, Con Ed generated electricity with their steam plants that were fired by coal. So you've done away with the steam plants, except for a few that serve Manhattan that provide steam customers.
Yes, and that's gas.
So you replace that with gas-fired generators, and the gas comes from where? Oil wells.
A lot of our gas
Oil
comes from
wells.
Canada. It comes from
Oil
Mexico.
wells, right?
Okay.
That's where gas comes. You drill a hole in the ground, you hit
Yes.
the gas first, and then the oil is below that.
A majority comes from Canada and Mexico. Yes.
Okay,
the
so
Gulf of
that's
Mexico.
why the costs have gone up. Once you stop generating steam, is there any goal or objective to restart some of these steam generating plants on different fuels?
So for our steam generation, we eventually do have to go away from gas because, again, zero emission by 2050. So, but it's not going to be with coal. It's not going to be with gas. It's going to be probably electricity that's going to be doing it.
And electricity requires something to burn to produce electricity.
Yes, in the old way of thinking, but now by 2030, 70% of the electricity has to be renewable. That's why we're investing so much in solar, wind, water, everything.
So this week we would not have had any electricity because we didn't have any sunshine.
Well, that's just for solar. We also have wind. We also have water. We also have geothermal energy. There's a lot of things we're putting our hands on in order to meet these goals.
Thank you. Any questions?
Please.
Microphone over here to the young lady first. Tell them who you are, where you're from.
Hi, I'm Betsy from Ridgewood. So you gave a lot of really great facts, so thank you. But there are also some other facts around in 2024, Q1 to Q3, you guys, Con Ed profited $2.3 billion in cash. Your CEO makes $16.9 billion, and as of 2022,
Hello, back there.
the cost per customer was $2,000 in arrears, which is double than what it was in 2019. So when you're talking about increasing rates as if it's like about to snow and there's nothing else you can do, what other options have you guys looked at?
Oh, we're working with regulators? Oh, absolutely. Let me take that one at a time. A lot of those profits, I'll do that one too. A lot of those profits was from us selling a sister company. A lot of people don't know that. We sold a sister company, Con Edison Solutions, which was a solar generation in the West Coast. We sold that for about $6.8 billion. Now, $6.5 billion, around there. From there, we did about $1 million in stock buyback options, which companies do when they sell large parcels of their assets, right? As for the CEO, most of that money, well, actually, I'll tell you exactly, a little over 12 million of that is just from stock options. It doesn't affect the repayer. We bought back stock from selling a piece that was in the desert in West Coast. It has nothing to do with Sicconi, Con Ed of New York. That was a different thing. Now, to answer your question, some other options that we're doing is we're working with the government as well as our regulators to try to curb some of this tax. Did you know that 30% of your bill is tax? So let me break down your bill. 30% is tax. 30% is supply. Con Ed makes zero on that. The remaining 40%, that's us, delivery. So we don't have too much to work with right there, but because our expenses keep going up, and we have to spend all of this money on infrastructure to meet a law. 2030, 2040, 2050s are the deadline. If we don't meet the law, that we'll get fined. People could go to jail. It's a law that's been put in place that we are following. So we're doing a lot of things to try to curb these rates, but with the cost ahead of us, it would be amiss of me to tell you Yeah, it won't go up. No, with more than $50 billion needed in infrastructure, how else are we going to pay for that? Next question, please.
Okay, next question. Who are you? Where you from? No, yeah. Oh, answer the question, okay. Any other
30%.
questions or comments? If not, here's one. Got a microphone, please?
Well, let's get here because she already has
Over
the
here.
I just have a quick
Over
question.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's the, I call the shots,
Oh,
not
I
you.
apologize. I'm sorry.
Is it on? Yes. It sounds like you're advocating for more gas production so that we don't have to waste all our time on trying to generate energy when we can't afford to do it. You say we're getting it from Canada and Mexico, the gas, but we don't have to. We've got more than them. But so as far as I'm concerned, my whole speech is advocating for changing who's running the system and just get out of the ground what we already have, and your rates wouldn't have to go up.
Although that is true on the rate end, climate action is a real thing. Well, from the people that I researched, so by 2015, the water is going to go up 16 inches. And this is facts. We're getting four more heat waves per year than like 10 years ago. It's getting worse and worse. And for those who aren't like science, it's snowing in Florida and Mexico, and all these weird things are happening. Storms are getting worse. So climate action is a real thing. It's just that maybe it was a little bit too aggressive, the policy. Maybe, but climate action is a real thing. So I'm not for big oil. I'm not for electric. I'm just letting you know what's going on that
That's
end.
But God is smarter than the rest of us. All of
Absolutely.
this has occurred before, and we got through it. There was a question in the back corner.
That's true too.
No? Somebody? No?
Right here.
I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
I'm Pat
Who
Crowley from
are
Glendale.
you and where are you from?
I just introduced myself. You were speaking over me. It's my turn to talk. I'm Pat Crowley from Glendale. I just need a clarification. Your name and title at Con Edison?
My name is Daniel Jung, Jeong, last name, and I am a senior specialist for customer outreach and education. That's my department.
That's it? Okay, question over here. Microphone, please. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hi, Eric Butkowitz from Middle Village. So, I have a compound question, and they're both interrelated. The first is, what is the square footage requirement for the flipping of that grid distribution you talked about? So, and you could give a percentage, but we have a certain square footage to produce the power we do now. What are we looking at in square footage from flipping that distribution? And in order to sustain that increase, because I imagine it's increase in square footage, what incentives are you offering or plan on offering for property owners, which in here is going to be mostly homeowners, to give square footage for that rollout?
Okay, so if I am understanding, so square footage, you mean like we need additional substations, of course, we need additional transformers, and we need to upgrade pretty much our entire wire system, right? It should not affect a homeowner or most homeowners at all. If our substations are like 2 square blocks, we need large pieces of land to build them. Like Idlewild is a good example. Huge, very, very huge, which is a $2 billion project, by the way. We did that so we could support all the extra usage that JFK, LaGuardia, and Jamaica, that area is going to be using. So In order for me to really answer your question, I would need to get back to you. So I would definitely need your information. I don't know that offhand.
Yeah. Well, part of it too, in addition to wires, I understand that's an upgrade. I mean, naturally, if you're using solar, you're using wind, that's going to take up more space than a power plant. So you might have a building the size of this high school, which could power potentially a whole city using gas or nuclear or what have you. But an equivalent solar farm is going to be substantially larger than that, or a wind farm.
Absolutely. Okay, now I understand the question.
Okay.
The generation itself, the solar farm and things of that nature, it's going to be the state and contractors. We're not allowed to generate anything. But we need to build the hubs that they can connect to feed our grid.
Okay.
So we're not building the solar farms. We're not building the windmills in Brooklyn. We're not building the water generating. We're not building that. We are not allowed to generate electricity from the 90s on. So that would be a question for NYSERDA. And why? By the way, NYSERDA has many programs too that you could take advantage of. Please. And all you need to do is Google NYSERDA. Again, it's the .gov website. Anything else is a scam, so
Thank you.
don't go to it.
Thank you. Any other questions over here? Microphone, please. Who are you? Where are you from?
Paul Kersner from Ridgewood. I put solar in 7707, and my bill went, and when it started, it was $18 and change. Now it's up to $22.15. And I pay that every month, winter and summer. My question is, we could stretch out this demand for Con Ed to build additional substations and infrastructure if it encouraged more people who could to put solar in, because the payback time is only 7 years. So if you're going to live in your home for 7 years and more, it makes sense to invest in this. And it's going to cost you net, the system is going to cost you maybe $30,000.
Yeah.
And your net is after expenses, after you get rebates from the city of New York and from the state and the feds, your net is going to be out of pocket about $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it pays for any of you who are in that situation, and you're going to stay there for more than 6 years, to buy solar and put it in. And if you have any questions how to do it, be happy to help you. Bye.
May I add to that? I also have solar. I didn't have the money to spend $30K up front. So the deal that I got is I am leasing my panels, and everything generated on that panel a month, I pay the solar company at, my rate is 12.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Anything generated. So let's say my solar panels generated 500 kilowatt hours. I'm paying 500 kilowatt hours at 12.5 cents to the solar company. Now, wait, Daniel, what if supply is like 9 cents per kilowatt hour? What if supply right now is like 10 cents per kilowatt hour? Aren't you getting ripped off? You're paying 2.5 cents more per kilowatt hour for the supply side. That's not how you got to think about this. Please remember, on your bill, there's delivery with a rate, and then there's supply with a rate. If you are comparing that with solar, please understand that the 500 kilowatt hours that I paid at 12.5, at least I'm not paying delivery for that. I'm generating it myself. I mean, I'm in Jersey now. I moved last year because I wanted to buy a house, and the only thing I could afford here was a closet. So I had to move. But I pay $20 a month in electricity charges, maybe in the $100, maybe a little less, $80 for my generation of electricity. Very, very cheap. In the long run, it makes sense. However, Con Ed cannot tell you who to go with on the solar. You could maybe speak to the board member over there. Do your research. That's all I could say. The best way to do your research is check the company with the Better Business Bureau as well as the PSC, Public Service Commission. See what complaints they're getting and see if that's the company you want to deal with. Do your research because not all deals are good.
Thank you. Another question? Again, who are you? What's for the tape?
Hey, I'm Betsy from Ridgewood. I appreciate talking about solar as an alternative energy, but we're talking about that as only benefiting homeowners when the increase on 11% is going to impact people that are renting as well.
Yes.
And so when you suggested downsizing and being really conservative, are you suggesting that people use 11% less electricity in 2026? Because that's effectively the rate hike that's going to come into effect.
I mean, that's like saying this. Groceries are up 28%. Are you eating less? You know what I mean? Like, it's so that's. But are you eating 28% less? You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you that to use 11% less. However, the more you save and conserve, the less your bills are going to be.
But everything is going up. I know that's not your problem.
Yeah.
Please.
Sorry. Hey,
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Everything is going up, and I struggle with the idea that this has to happen, and there's not other ways to raise money to upgrade the funding that is not hurting individuals that are living in New York. And so, again, I know you talked about what you did with the money and why this needs to happen, but I struggle with not knowing that there's other alternatives that was not just hitting people that live in New York.
See, now it's going to go political, and I don't want to go there, but reducing property taxes would lower rates. Inflation would lower rates, right?
Would they lower rates for Con Edison?
Yes, absolutely. We're expecting $3.2 billion just in property taxes. We're 20% increase in water. We're the number one consumer of water in New York City by the DEP. We're their number one customer. We're the number one taxpayer in New York City. If these expenses aren't there, we would have no justification to raise our rates. Now, before everyone thinks this is a cash grab, please check our stock prices. Do a five-year, whatchamacallit, on our stock. It's all public. You know our stock price is the same today as it was 5 years ago? Is that the symptom of a cash grab? You know what I mean? We're too regulated to do cash grabs. We're not Coca-Cola. We're not McDonald's. We are so regulated that we can't do cash grabs. We have to give justification. Everything's under scrutiny. We do one thing. It's all over New York Post. I mean, everyone saw the articles. So it's not that. We're trying our best to do what we need to do with the expenses going up.
Thank you. Thank you. Who are you? Where are you from?
Red mic. Hi, Diego from Ridgewood. I may have missed this because you were talking so much about costs, but the per capita usage of electricity, is that going up, down, staying the same?
Per capita of use, I need to get back to you on that. I don't know the answer offhand.
Okay.
Thank you.
You'll get back to us on that. Okay. Thank you very much.
No other questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me back. And thank you for fitting me in, Gary. Thank you.
Okay, Walter, 2 minutes. You got the timer? Okay, so the next item to come before us is the public forum. 2 minutes, because we have seven, looks like seven. No personal attacks, no foul language, no back and forth. You step up to the microphone, introduce yourself, what your subject is, and get finished in 2 minutes. So the first one is Jonathan Rinaldi from Middle Village resident, congestion pricing.
Hey, how are you? I love Community Board 5. Thanks for having me again. As the only Italian-American candidate for City Council in District 30. I am very much in support of the Italian community and how important it is for the Italians to be recognized and to have not only, because I know you guys are voting on it.
Excuse
yes.
me. Let's reference Americans of Italian descent,
Sure.
please.
I reclaim my time.
Because they're all Americans.
That's correct. I agree with you. I reclaim my time. But it's very important for us. They're very, very strong, important builders of this country, and we should celebrate them and not only give them the 4 days, but as a District 30 City Councilman, I will make Italian heritage a whole month. But with that being said, I'm pleased to announce that I am the first in the whole country an RSA candidate. I am the Republican Socialists of America candidate. And what I mean by that is that energy should be free to us, because the important thing that was neutered with the community boards and the civic associations, we should be independent from the Queensborough president, because we should have oversight. And because of the City of Yes and the carbon neutrality and all of the regulations that have forced upon us, we as a community board should have the oversight to say no when it comes to the cost of living. So if we actually had the power that was taken away from us, we could tell Con Edison that we are not paying for it. So it's very important that we have free buses, no more tolls. We need schools should be free for everybody, and that's the kind of platform that all of us really should represent, because we are the taxpayers. We should be afforded the social services and get all of the benefits thereof. We have been paying way too much in the cost of living, and it's time for us to get back what we have put in to this country and to our borough. Thank you very much.
Thank
See later.
you.
Love you guys, by the way.
Next speaker, Paul Pogaleski from Middle Village. Hockey, roller hockey?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How's it going, everyone? Good evening, Community Board 5. Just want to make some announcements. We have the Middle Village Property Owners and Residents Association. We're going to be at the Trinity Church on Dry Harbor Road on February 20th. That's next Thursday, 7 p.m. We have Senator Dabo coming to as a guest speaker. We're going to talk about congestion pricing, the new IBX line, or the proposed IBX line, and the City of Yes. And the congestion pricing actually more in line with actually it being detrimental to Queens residents above Bronx and Brooklyn, because you could actually get onto the FDR and bypass the congestion zone. And if you get onto the Queensboro Bridge by a half a block, you have to pay for the congestion pricing, which is also impacting the Triborough Bridge, because people are now using the Triborough Bridge because it's $6 and the congestion pricing zone costs $9. So it's backing up onto Astoria Boulevard and Steinway Street. Middle Village Roller Hockey, we're starting our 5th season. It's 2 years, amazing venture. Eileen Maloney gets a lot of props for that. Steve Fiedler, congratulations to them. We're starting up on 3/8. We have over 100 families in the league. This thing is growing like crazy. It's beautiful. It's been an amazing community effort, and I appreciate you guys actually leading me in this as well, and like teaching me how to get around the New York City Parks Department. And then just Paul for New York City. I'm running for City Council, District 30, looking to represent you guys, looking to increase senior centers, build more third spaces, which are community centers for bridging gaps between our senior citizens and our young adults, hopefully getting them together that they could learn tasks together. And we want to make affordability equitable. Last thing, in the Bible, it tells us we have to worry about Tower of Babel, you know. So the first name in Con Edison is Con. So let's beware.
That was a slur. Okay. The next speaker is Duncan Ballantyne, Ridgewood Rides Events.
Hey everybody, my name's Duncan Ballantyne. I'm a resident of Ridgewood and a member of Ridgewood Rides. We make monthly updates here at the community board meetings. We are a neighborhood cycling group with a focus on community bike rides and advocating for safer streets for cyclists and pedestrians. And just sharing a couple quick announcements for the month of February. We've continued our weekly community bike rides this winter. I recently led a ride to Roosevelt Island and Cornell Tech for a leisurely loop of the island, and then we returned to Ridgewood for Slices at Rosa's. It was awesome. Last week, we also hosted a community engagement event at the Ridgewood branch of the Queens Public Library, where personal injury lawyer Peter Beadle gave a talk on what to do in a bike crash and what your rights are as a cyclist. So we're trying to organize more advocacy events for the community. Our regular monthly meeting is next month, or next Monday at the Footlight Presents space. If anyone wants to get involved with Ridgewood Rides, is passionate about street safety, come on out and introduce yourself. We'd love to have you. Our next ride is going to be Saturday the 22nd. We're going to be going out to Flushing and Queens and some of the food courts out there. And then later that night at Footlight Presents, we're going to be screening a bike film cult classic called Premium Rush at the Footlight Presents in Ridgewood. So that's $5 to $10 donation suggested. Come on out and hang out and watch a bike film. And then lastly, more rides on the way in March, Floyd Bennett Field, and we're going to go to Near's Tavern. So lots coming up, and we're continuing our advocacy efforts and planning for the new season in the spring. As always, follow us on Instagram, Ridgewood Rides, and for more information, we have a website, ridgewoodrides.org. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Next speaker, Giovanni Silvani, Fresh Pond Road Festival.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Giovanni Silvani. I'm an attorney in the community. I've been in this community for 30 years. I have an office on Myrtle Avenue. I live in the community. And I'm just here to request that you guys vote yes in connection with us having the Fresh Pond Road Street Festival. It's been an ongoing thing for 30 years, so this is nothing new. We're just, hoping that we can continue this event. It's a great event for the community. There's an economic benefit for the community, for the stores, for the property owners in the community. It's a way to bring in new people. People from all over the city come to this event, so it's a way for us to bring in new people and showcase Ridgewood and Fresh Pond Road to people who wouldn't otherwise be here. It's a great event for those of us who live in the community. It's also a kid-friendly event, and for those of us that have kids in the community, most of my friends that have kids, when they want to do stuff with their kids, they go to Long Island, they go to the city, they go upstate. This is actually a nice event for people that want to stay in the community and just have a kid-friendly event. It's also been a safe event. There's been no major incidents for the 30 years that we've had this event. It's one of the reasons that we have the support of the 104. And last but not least, it's an opportunity to sort of showcase our Italian pride, our Italian heritage. Italian Americans, we helped build the city, we helped build Ridgewood, we helped build Fresh Pond Road, and this event is sort of a way for us to showcase our culture and also showcase it to all the diverse other ethnic groups that make up this great community. So again, respectfully requesting that you guys vote yes when it comes time to vote for this great event. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Charles Ober, Fresh Pond Festival.
Charles Ober from Ridgewood and Community Board member, the Fresh Pond Festival. In 2018, the board here came to a consensus and decided that 2 days was a good compromise for the festival. The reason the consensus came is because there was a whole bunch of issues that various members of the community board brought up that were of concern. And the consensus was 4 days was a heightened safety issue. And so the compromise was 2 days. Safety issue included the redirection of public transit and senior citizens not being able to get to their appointments. Involved longer response times for first responders, including ambulances. Also, since then, the safety situation has not gotten better. It's considered a soft target. There should be a reevaluation of the policing of that event. Some of the hardened, bigger events are putting sanitation trucks at the intersections and so on. I don't know if that review has been done. But I do think that having it for 4 days is too much and too much of a security issue. There have been injuries at this festival, no deaths. There has been a stabbing and some various injuries. So it's not a completely safe event. And the safety situation now is more serious. So I think we should seriously consider about keeping it to 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Paul Kersner, Fresh Pond Festival. Could you step up? Let him step up. Everyone else has to.
Hi, my name is Paul Kersner. I'm really talking for my wife.
Charlie, sit down.
I'm really talking to my wife. She could not be here. She's on the Historical Society board, and she has a conflicting board member. Mary Ellen's name is Mary Ellen Borello. She bristles when you say Kersner. Anyone who knows us, she's Mary Ellen Borello. And she wanted to be here. And her message to you is, and I wrote it down, I'm 100% against the street festival for 3 days or 4 days.
It is.
It should be, this is her word, it should be a one-day festival like in Maspeth and like Ted Renz has in Ridgewood for Myrtle Avenue for the Ridgewood Local Development Corporation and for the Glendale Kiwanis. The same standard should be for this applicant. They should be allowed to have a Saturday and Sunday operation, and that's it. That is her report. I don't know how many of you were here when Frank Principe was the chairman of the board. And I wonder what Frank would say about this. Bye.
Thank you. The next speaker is Rachel Karachi and Career Day. Rachel?
Yes, that's me. Hi, I'm Rachel Karachi. I'm a board member. I am also the parent coordinator at PS 174, and I'm just up here pleading for people to come to our Career Day. If you are interested, it is Wednesday, March 26th. Let me know if you have a career that K to 5th grade might be interested in. So that's 5 to 11. They have interesting, diverse interests in our school. If you know anyone who has an interesting career, point them in my direction. We're just trying to drum up. It's our first career day, and it's a little slow getting off the ground. It is 8:30 to 11:30. PS 174 is located in Rego Park in the Crescents. So parking is good if you decide to come out there, and the PA will also provide breakfast and lunch. So, work on your presentation to K to 5-year-olds and reach out to me. I'm a board member on CB5. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to the next item of business, which is the chairperson's report. That's me, Vincent Arcuri, chairperson. Let me just make my notes here. What time is it, 8:20? Okay, so I'm going to go over, since we have some voting, and we'll check to see who's not here. So, as far as I could tell, Michael Bick is not here. Maritza Carmona is not here. Robert Chimelli is not here. Ethan Chan is not here. Steve Fiedler is not here. Matty Gonzalez is not here. Marianne Latanzio is not here. Margaret O'Kane is not here. Michael O'Kane is not here. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Melissa Rebecca is not here. Lee Rottenberg is not here. And that's it. Gary Giordano, our district manager, not feeling well. He's over in the corner. John Meyer is here, so John will pick up on a few things. And Kathy O'Leary did all the work at the office for this meeting. I'm going to introduce or see what elected or official reps are here. From the mayor's office, Kevin, are you here? Anything for us? Kevin Morris?
Good evening, everyone. Kevin Morris, Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. Just a couple of quick announcements. Mayor Adams and the Department for Housing Preservation and Development, HPD, recently announced an expansion to our Home First Down Payment Assistance Program. And what this does is that it provides qualified first-time home buyers with up to $100,000 toward a down payment or closing costs on a 1 to 4 family household, a condominium, or a co-op within the 5 boroughs. Now, I know the first thing a lot of you are going to say is that $100,000 is not a lot of money for a household. I understand that. It is the start of a program that we are trying, and we hope that it will expand and there will be more resources available later. But just for the meantime, if you know anyone who is a first-time home buyer who is interested in getting into the program, please encourage them to reach out to HPD. The other major announcement is that the mayor recently announced that as of this 3-year period, we have been able to remove 20,000 illegal guns from our New York City streets. This is actually 3,000 more than the previous 3-year period between 2019 to 2021. So we want to thank the amazing work of our wonderful NYPD for all of the amazing work that they've been doing in getting these guns off the street. And the last thing I'll just say is that we have a series of very severe winter storms coming this weekend. Please, we encourage everyone to be safe on the roads when you're leaving here tonight and over the course of the rest of the week. The roads are going to be very slippery, very snowy, very treacherous, so we just want to make sure that everyone is exercising safety and precaution. With that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you. No one here from the Comptroller's office? No one here from the Public Advocate's office? We have Claire Collins from Borough President's office. Claire?
Hi guys, my name is Claire. I'm from Borough President Richard's office. The community board applications are still open, but they're going to close on Friday. So this goes to board members that are up for reappointment, as well as anyone that might be watching online and you want to apply. Do it tomorrow so that you have Valentine's Day free. So yeah, you have until Friday. Yeah, and then if you're interested, it's queensbp.nyc.gov. And yeah, and the notice of the appointments are going to be made in late March, and if you get appointed, your first meeting would be in April. Okay, events. On February 20th at 6 p.m., we're having our Dominican Independence Day celebration at Queensborough Hall. On February 25th, we're hosting our monthly parent advisory board meeting, which is hybrid. To attend in person, it's going to be at 118-35 Queens Boulevard in Forest Hills. And then on Zoom, you can get the link from our website. On February 26th, we're hosting our Black History Month celebration at Queensborough Hall. And then on February 27th at 5:30 p.m., we're hosting a town hall for North Queens. And then that's going to be at Queensborough Community College, which is in Bayside. And yeah, you can RSVP to any of our events at queensbp.nyc.gov.
You have anything important from the borough board meeting the other night?
Specifically, no.
Talked about budget, but we put it aside. The board didn't vote on it, waiting for more information. Was it that there's just?
Oh yeah, I don't have an update regarding
Okay.
that right now.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're not sure if you're up for reapplication, you can call the office. Yeah.
We have a statement we put into the file from the district attorney representative representing.
Ask the Borough President's office.
Go ahead.
The question is, those of us who are senior members of this board, we are term limited. When is our term up?
The term limits haven't come into effect yet, but I have oh wait, I don't have service down here. I did get an email from our general counsel regarding the term limits, and I'll get Like, I'll give you my card, and then I can follow up with you offline about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, you could send the full list to the board office, too.
Okay, yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
send that out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Where was I? Okay. Representing Congresswoman Velazquez is Jonathan Betancourt.
Good evening, good evening. Jonathan Betancourt from Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez's office. A couple of updates from our end. Last year, the prior administration finalized a rule that would prohibit medical debt from being included on your credit reports. This would have eliminated over $49 billion from your credit reports of medical debt, as well as impacted 15 million Americans. With the new administration's executive orders, this rule can be delayed or even eliminated. We'll continue to update the board. Number two, the Congresswoman's hosting a virtual Immigration Know Your Rights workshop. I left some flyers over there. It'll be in English, Spanish, and Bangla. It'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. You can click on the link or you can scan the QR code to join. Lastly, the board reached out to our office to request an American flag for the post office at 60-80 Woodbine. We received it today, so we will be delivering it very soon. And that's it. We have left some information from our office over there. Feel free to call our office for any issues with a federal agency. Phone number 718-599-3658. Thank you.
Thank you. No one here speaking for Congressman Meng? Council, representing Council Member Holding, Phil Long. Why is he wait?
Good evening. My name is Phil Wang from Councilman Robert Holden's office. I have a couple announcements. First, the deadline for the councilman's discretionary funding is February 20th, 5 p.m. So if you're a nonprofit organization that wants to apply for funding, please do so before that date, February 20th, 5 p.m. I've been sending out reminder emails. Unfortunately, people take their time. They want to wait till the last day or the day before the last day, so please don't apply as soon as possible so we have time to review your application. So that's announcement number one. Announcement number two, we have a pet food giveaway coming up in early March. I've been trying to get a date, but once we have it, we'll post it in the social media website. It's cat food and dog food, so first come, first serve. And then there's another event coming up also in early March. It's spay and neuter. Once we have that date, we'll start taking appointments. So that's the three events, but just pay attention to social media and sign up when you hear about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Representing Councilmember Ariola is Linda Fogel. What's his name?
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Fogel from Councilmember Joanne Ariola's office. The council member has recently introduced a bill that requires the street vendor enforcement to create a portal for the agencies to enforce the street vending licenses. So in other words, if the NYPD or the fire department come, if they verify the credentials of the vendor, they won't be shut down, but if they don't have the proper licenses, they can be shut down immediately. If you don't pay your property taxes, water, sewer, and charges, other property-related charges, you may be at risk of going into a lien sale that will be taking place on March 20th. If you think that you are going to have this issue, you can contact the finance department, because if it's not resolved, there is a possibility that your debt can be sold, and then you can go into foreclosure, and we want to make sure that's preventable. Queens Civic Congress has been filing a lawsuit against the City of Yes, I've said it before, the council member is against the city of Yes. She doesn't think that it belongs in any part of her community or within this area. She's going to fight that. If you have concerns or you want more information, you can contact them at 347-722-1872. Council member has been in contact with the Trump administration for his help in trying to make sure that the city of Yes does not come into the community. So that's a plus for us. Also, if you have any questions about your Department of Finances, contact our office, speak to Alex. He's in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm sorry. The deadline is the 15th of March. He will go over your property and see if you're eligible for any kind of rebate that you might have lost or that you're not aware of that you're entitled to. Phone number is 718-738-1083. Thank you.
Thank you. Representing Councilmember Gutierrez is Anna Lair. Oh, hold on. Yes. Who are you? Where are you
Paul
from?
Kers- Hello, I'm Paul Kersler from Ridgewood. On the issue of tax arrears, I have today's Daily News.
It's being passed around.
All right. That list I had given to Angela Mirabile, who's our executive director at the Restoration Corporation. I'm the president of that. And she's going to be sending letters to every owner in Board 5 that is in tax arrears or water and sewer arrears. And we're going to nip that in the bud so that it's seamless and hopefully we'll get the people down. The last time this was done by the city of New York was 5 years ago. Now they're resuming it, and they're going to be. What they're going to do is they're going to sell the tax liens to the people, to corporations, and then they're going to charge 18% interest, and they're going to then have to pay. The owners are going to have to pay back, and they could lose their properties. And we don't want that to happen to any property owner in Board 5. And so that's why the Restoration Corporation in Ridgewood is taking on this new, besides doing our graffiti cleaning, this is our new task to prevent any property in Board 5, Ridgewood, Glendale, Maspeth, or Middle Village from becoming owned by a real estate entity.
Thank you. Anna?
Hi guys, I'm Anya Lair. I'm the Chief of Staff for Councilmember Gutierrez. A lot of the updates have already been said. Also, that's an amazing update because we were also going to do something similar on the tax liens. The 90-day notices did go out, but there are quite a few in CB5, so we should chat. But our office was also recently trained on this. We're also doing ongoing Know Your Rights. We're working with Congresswoman Velasquez's, but we are doing one about every 2 weeks if all of them are on our socials and our newsletter. We also are doing our 8th year of helping seniors do taxes. Folks can call us starting February 18th to make an appointment. We're hosting a Narcan training at Pine Box Bar on Saturday, March 1st at 12 p.m. We're doing a one-shot deal on March 6th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 85 Melrose. That's for if you need a one-time payment for rent or a one-time payment for a bill. We also, if any tenant has apartment issues, we have CORE, which is a legal services in our office, the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and people can call our office to schedule an appointment. And then also there's a scam, an E-ZPass scam going around, so everyone should be very worried or be very careful about clicking any links. And then the last update, if my colleagues didn't tell you guys, is that the council member gave birth to a healthy baby girl in December, and everyone's happy and healthy. That's it.
Thank you. Representing State Senator Dabo is John D'Angelo.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, again, my name is John D'Angelo from State Senator Dabo's office. The legislative session continues in Albany. The senator and his legislative team are reviewing the differing proposals from both houses and as they prepare to submit their budgets. Upcoming events, unfortunately, in this area, we don't have anything coming up soon. We will have our annual job fair and senior job fair, but the dates have to be determined. Paper shredding and e-waste will be the last Sunday in April and the first Sunday in May, I'm sorry. So it still is a ways off. And just in line with scams, I'm sure everybody is familiar with roofing scams. No? Someone shows up to fix your roof. They say there's a problem with your roof, there's water leaking, whatever. And then they proceed to ask you for money. A constituent came in our office about 2-3 weeks ago. I don't want to tell you how much money she gave these guys, but she's out a huge sum of money. Needless to say, they did no work on the roof. They just made some holes. They made it worse. It's a scam that's been going on for years, and it continues to go on. So just any unsolicited contractors that come looking, just use caution. Call somebody for help. If you have to call our office, call anybody, and please don't pay cash, okay? Have a good oh, yes, sir?
Over here. Yeah. Hello,
Still on?
Fred.
Yes.
Announce your name and where you're
Hi,
from.
Fred Haller from Glendale. So the rule is there's a 3-day right to cancel. So if anyone knocks on your door to try to sell you something or to do work on your home, even if they're a legitimate contractor, they will not come right back. They'll sign you up, they'll wait 3 days. The ones that you're talking about, they say the guys are going right up on your roof now, and they've got you because they're just coming in right away and doing it, and before you know it, you've paid for it. But any legitimate contractor will not come right back because you have 3 days to rescind whatever agreement you went into. So it's a 3-day, like if you refinanced your home, you have a 3-day right to cancel. Same theory here. You have a 3-day right to cancel. So even if somebody did solicit you, okay, and they said, I'm not coming right away, you have time to cancel this, that would be a legitimate contractor who would do that. Right. The other ones, they're right up on your roof, knocking it out, and it comes around in this neighborhood every 2 or 3 years.
Right. You hit it on the head. It's legitimate contractors. These guys just pull up. They ask for cash. And it's hard to believe, but she gave them cash right away. She went back to the bank, God knows, 2, 3, 4 times. If you want to know, it was over 100,000. Okay. I know. I'm still sick. Okay. But so just please be aware.
No one representing Senator Gianaris. Representing Senator Salazar is Maria Valdez. Hello.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar. As a reminder, we have tenant support unit every first Tuesday of the month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office, 212 Evergreen Avenue. Walk-ins are welcome. We will also have a fairs clinic Thursday, February 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you're looking to save up to 50% off on your subway or bus rides, I left the flyers back there so you can register and see the requirements. Thank you.
Okay. No one representing Assemblyperson Hevesi. Representing Assemblymember Raga is Dolma Lama.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dolma Lama. I'm the District Director at the Office of Assemblyman Stephen Raga. Nice to see you all. I missed you all last Community Board meeting. Few updates as we're starting the budget negotiations. Assemblymember is up in Albany, but he is leading budget campaigns that would alleviate medical debt in the New York State, and also better supporting Mitchell-Lama preservation, which would alleviate issues for affordability affecting working families. I will keep you posted on more of the lead stuff in the next meeting. A few things that are coming up for us are we're hosting legal clinic with Community Resist. They help with Anyone who has housing matters or issues, yeah, you can come to our office on February 27th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. However, we do require appointments, so please call our office at 718-651-3185. We're also having a free tax preparation clinic, so anyone who has income under $93,000, you do qualify for this service. This is our second time bringing free tax preparation service in our district office. However, please make sure to make an appointment in the number that I gave earlier. It is every Saturday, and it started February 1st, and it goes on until April 5th. So every Saturday, you're welcome to do your taxes for free. We are also dropping off, and I also wanted to wish you all happy Valentine's Week. Valentine's is coming up. What we're doing for the Valentine's Day is we're dropping off cards to the senior members in the district. There are several senior centers that will be receiving Valentine cards starting tomorrow. The drop-offs are already scheduled at the senior centers in the district. Thank you, and I have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. No one representing Assemblymember Valdez. Representing Assemblymember Raj Kumar is Anna Sargent.
Good evening, my friends. It is I am Anna Sargent. I am the Chief of Staff to Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajkumar. As everyone knows, we are about almost 2 months into session, so we're really starting to get into the thick of things. As always, as you know, the Assemblywoman always fights for our quality of life issues. We are once again fighting to get Priscilla's law passed to protect us from e-bikes. We are also tackling the ghost car scourge that ravages our communities. And then we are also trying to expand mental health services to people who are vulnerable and also have addresses that fluctuate, so they have difficulty filling out or completing paperwork that is necessary for them to receive treatment. In addition, we also have requested a study on transit deserts, and as someone who almost exclusively takes the train or the bus, this is personal to me, so I hope you all also consider this to be important. As Dolma said, it is almost Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. In addition to celebrating Valentine's Day in your usual way, I encourage all of you to tell a loved one, or if this applies to you, that we are doing a mammogram truck on the 18th of February at our office at 8391 Woodhaven Boulevard. We do plan to have another one in March, not at our office, but in either Ridgewood or Glendale. We are trying to find someone on this side of Forest Park. So this mammogram truck has very specific times for its time slot, so you will have to either email or call our office. So you can email me or just call us at 718-805-0950 if you want to schedule a mammogram, or if there is a loved one in your life that you love enough to encourage them to get a mammogram at our office. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. No one representing Assemblymember Cruz. No one here from 94th Precinct. City Planning, Derek Jasmine's here. Derek, nothing? Hello, where are you? Okay, thanks for coming. Okay, you all received the minutes. What's your pleasure on the minutes? Kathy Massey. Seconded by Walter Clayton. All in favor? Any opposed? Any objections? Okay. Next is the liquor license and building notices. John Meyer, please. Here you go.
Read these into the minutes for folks. If you have any comments on any of these, please get them back to the office as soon as possible. We have a new liquor license at Inca Peza 3 at 6242 Forest Avenue in Ridgewood. That's going to be a restaurant. We have 4 liquor license renewals. Rainy 5 LLC, doing business as Walsh's Pub at 6867 Fresh Pond Road in Ridgewood. That is a food and beverage establishment. Formerly, they used to refer to those as taverns, bar and taverns. Frank Kowalski Post, number 4, PLAV, 6157 Maspeth Avenue in Maspeth, and that is a club. JR Maspeth Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Ocean Prime Bar and Restaurant at 6414 Flushing Avenue in Maspeth. That's a restaurant. While in Kathmandu, Inc., at 758 Seneca Avenue in Ridgewood, another restaurant. We have 1 new wine, beer, and cider license. They were announced previously, and they came back to make an adjustment to indicate on their liquor license application to the SLA that they will also be showing films, if it wasn't obvious in the name. Low Cinema LLC at 7011 60th Street, Ridgewood, New York. That's going to be a food and beverage establishment also showing movies. 1 wine, beer, and cider renewals at 6265 Exclusive Roses Corp., doing business as Roses Pizza on 6265 Fresh Pond Road. That's a restaurant, and that's all. We don't have any other announcements on liquor licenses. We have 1 demolition notice in Middle Village at 7821 Metropolitan Avenue. It's a garage behind a house on Metropolitan Avenue, and it's block 3068, lot 23. There were none reported for Glendale, Maspeth, or Ridgewood.
Thank you. Okay, so the executive committee met and discussed the applications for street fairs. So the first one was the Grand Avenue Fair. It's April 26th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Grand Avenue between 65th Street and 72nd Street. The Executive Committee report is approval of that event. Any discussion on the matter? Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Who's the opposed? You got him? Yep. Okay. The next event is the Myrtle Avenue Ridgewood Festival, sponsored by the Ridgewood LDC. Sunday, May 4, and the street is closed between Wyckoff and Fresh Pond. Again, the Executive Committee recommended approval of that. Any questions on the matter? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Third one is the Myrtle Avenue Festival, sponsored by the Glendale Kiwanis, or the Kiwanis Club of Glendale, excuse me. July 20 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, the street is closed. Myrtle Avenue is closed from Fresh Pond to Forest. Any discussion on the matter? For Fred, for purpose of expo.
Yeah, I'm a member of the club, but not the president, and I'm not the chairman of this committee, so I'll be voting. I just want to state my affiliation.
Same, Vincent Arcuri. I'm a member of Glendale Kiwanis, but I don't participate or anything. Okay? On the matter, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The next one is the Fresh Pond Road Street Festival. It's 4 days, September 4, 5, 6, and 7. And on the 4th, it's from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The 5th is 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. 6th is 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. 7th is 2:30 to 10:30. It runs from on Fresh Pond Road Well, the streets of Fresh Pond Road is closed between Woodbine and Menahan. Okay? Any discussion on the matter? Get a microphone to introduce yourself, Mr. Kersner.
Paul Kersner from Ridgewood. Again, I testified before that this should be a one-day festival, like all the other festivals we have in Ward 5. Treat everybody the same, one day. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would ask for a roll vote.
In back, who is that, please? Can't hear you.
It's lit. Lily Scarabino, Middle Village. You didn't share what the executive board decided. Last year, you guys voted to approve it for 2 days, right? And even though they asked for 4?
Oh, I'm sorry. The executive committee recommended approval of the 4 days.
Oh, okay. But that is differing from last year, isn't it? Last year, you approved 2 days,
I
correct?
don't recall, but if that's what it is, that's
Or
what it is.
3 days, okay. But this year, you're approving 4 days.
Correct.
And that's what we're voting on, if we support 4 days.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Over here, microphone, please.
Chairman Arcuri, Harper Toscano from Middle Village. I am in favor of the feast because
It's a festival.
the festival, yes, it's a Fresh Pond Festival. It's been in existence for maybe more than 30 years.
25, I think we figured out.
25 only? Okay. And I think it's run by a very good group of people, and they have no problems, and the festival is very crowded, and it seems that the community really enjoys it. And it's been for 4 days for many, many years, and I feel that that's a good way to continue it, 4 days.
Thank you. Mr. Kersner, once again.
I had handed out to everyone this flyer that I had in my file. This is our community board, February 2018, voted in opposition, 20 denying the festival, and that was the same position that we took in 2015, 2016, and 2017. The members of Ward 5 at that time voted overwhelmingly in favor of denying this proposed 4-day Fresh Pond Road Festival sponsored by the Federazione Italo-Americana of Brooklyn and Queens. Once again, the vote in opposition to this proposed 4-day festival is overwhelming. We strongly recommend that this proposed 4-day festival not be permitted. And Gary wrote to them, historically, Board 5 has tried to convince festival sponsors to conduct one-day street festivals, preferably on a Sunday during the day. Each of the other 4 nonprofit organizations sponsoring annual street festivals in our community board area have been agreeable. They conduct a one-day festival on Sunday, and the festival is closed by 6 p.m. And all we're asking for the hundreds of people in Ridgewood who don't want this thing screwing up Fresh Pond Road and hurting us, and screwing up the bus route with the bus depot is there, we're saying it, put it on a weekend. Treat us not any differently from the rest of the community board. The same as Maspeth, the same thing as the Kiwanis. Please, support the neighborhood. We support you. Please reciprocate. Thank you.
So for the last 7 years, the board has voted in favor of the festival, just to make things current, all right? Question back there, please introduce yourself again.
Hi, Jess Boyardi, Middle Village. So I've known this festival my whole life, and I know it's been 4 days for most of my life, but there is something that's different about this festival, and I'd love to hear from you or anybody else here. The dollars are goes to something, that there is something that it's not fully profit. I know that the dollars go somewhere for this festival. Can you share some of the things that this funds.
The distribution of their profit, their costs and their profit. You have a report back there. You want to bring it? I'll read it, please. This was discussed at the meeting, yes. Okay, thank you. So let's see what it says here. Okay. Okay. Gross income was 60634. Expenses were 44386. Net profit from the event, 16,248. The expenses, right off the top, the city gets their share, of course, the mayor's office, illumination, garbage, private garbage, insurance, the fire department fees, and the festival operator, which in this one is Metro, and that cost was 38291. Music for 4 nights, kits and sales ticket, and additional cleaning. The total then comes up to 44386. Let's see. Music expense, let's see what that says. Music expense is music, Juvidi, Venariti, Sabato, and Dominica. It's 4400. Ragazzi sale ticket, 1695. I'm sorry?
They want to know what organizations received the money from the trust.
I didn't finish.
Okay.
May I please finish? Then you could ask all the questions you want. Okay? Donations made from the profit. Glendale Civilian Observation Patrol, $1,000. Greater Ridgewood Youth Council, $1,000. Brother Helping Organization, $500. Cardella Senior Center, $500. Puppy Kitty Organization, $250. Patronato Apasa, $2,500. 104th Precinct, what is that, District Council, is $500, for a total of donations of $6250 out of the net 16248. Is that correct? All right. Any other questions on that? Okay, so where were we? Okay, if there's no further questions, no separate conversation, you got something to say? Let everybody hear it. Announce who you are, what you are.
I'm Don Passantino. I just want to say that it seems a shame that they spend 4 days and only get such a small amount of money to give to charities. I personally donate more money than that to various charities, and I don't even have any event.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so.
Police overtime, I think, is more than what this is. They have to have the, police overtime to cover this thing.
Okay. Sure. Walter Sanchez.
Hi, I'm Walter Sanchez from Maspeth. Those of us who have been in favor of this festival for decades are so because we love the engagement. We love this. There are volunteers who do this work, and the community likes it. The community goes there. My children go there. A lot of your children have gone there in the past. Yeah, there are concerns with it being 4 days, but the community board has been in favor of this festival, and we know the people who are running it, and we think they're good people. They've been running it for 30 years, and when you get that kind of legacy volunteer work in the community, it's a great thing.
Okay, Paul, Mr. Kersner had suggested a roll call. Is that what you want as a board, or you want to just put your hands up? No, what do you want to do? Go ahead, Joe. Okay, so this is the recommendation in favor of the Fresh Pond Road Street Festival, September 4, 5, 6, and 7, as previously noted.
So we'll start at the end and work backwards. Brandon Zwagerman. 4. Mariana, 0. Jasmine Valley. 4. Patrick Chinchesi. Yeah, that would help. Sorry, folks. New to this. Barbara Toscano. Guyanel Thapa. Katarzyna Sita. Dennis Steffen. Lily Scarabino. Walter Sanchez. Enrique Rosas. Luis Rodriguez. Ken Rayberger. Don Passantino. Michael O'Kane. Charles Ober. Kathy Massey. Edward Latau. Diego Lecleary. Paul Kersner. Fred Hofferly. Christopher Herman. Daniel Heredia. Fred Holler. Gail Grabowski. Dimitra Fedkowski. Patricia Crowley. Walter Clayton. Betsy Chen. Deepak Chowdhury. Rachel Karachi. Eric Butkowitz. Jessica Boyardi. Carol Benovic Bradley. Vincent Arcuri. Thank you.
So while he's,
Sorry, yes. Naho Matsuzawa. 4. Sorry, I missed you there.
okay, while he's doing that calculation, we have another one, the Myrtle Avenue Bid Festival, sponsored by the Myrtle Avenue Business Improvement District, September 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Myrtle Avenue, Wyckoff to Fresh Pond. Okay, what's your pleasure on that? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. So you're still adding, right?
Nope.
Oh, you done? Okay.
Do you want to read the results? They're down on the bottom.
Okay, so on the roll call vote for the Myrtle Avenue Street Festival in September is 23 in favor, 13 against. If you count up all the board members, there were 12 absentees. So 23 to 13 is the in favor. Okay? And we always show, we don't know how, if you think that the absentees would have voted the same way, it would have come out the same way, same proportion. Thank you. Okay, hold on. This goes with that, John. All this goes together, except this for now. All right? I did minutes, building, okay. Anything for the chair from the board members? Okay. Gong Hei Fat Choi. Today was the Lantern Festival for celebration of Asian New Year. Well, we used to call it, when I was a kid, Chinese New Year, but it's, you know. So our Asian American friends, Happy New Year. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. Nothing from the audience, sorry. No. Nothing from the audience. Okay, the next item of business. Nothing from the audience, please, sit. Sit. All right. Mr. G, you going to have anything? Okay. So the chairperson's report is going to be done by John Meyer.
Though there were no speakers in the public hearing portion on the proposed budget, as the community boards throughout the city, they do have to respond to that proposed budget. And Gary will be putting forth a letter to the city budget office stating the board's intention from their earlier surveys that we've done. And he would like me to read in the top 10 for both capital and expense budget that will be sent with comments about the proposed budget as put forward by the mayor. Number 1 for capital was the redesign and reconstruction of sewer systems in portions of CB5Q area having worse flooding problems. Number 2 was provide stormwater runoff mitigation, which many of you might be seeing around the neighborhood in Rosemary's Playground. They're doing a very big project right now, making that a rainwater repository to help catch runoff. Number 3 is correct Cooper Avenue underpass flooding and reconstruct the LIR and 71st Avenue Bridge abutments above Cooper Avenue. Number 4 is the rehabilitation of the Ridgewood Reservoir Phase 2 and the surrounding areas, including portions of Highland Park and the multi-use paths on Vermont Place. Number 5 is the reconstruct deteriorated catch basins and provide new catch basins in the CB5Q area. Number 6 was to reconstruct Palmetto Street from St. Nicholas Avenue to Seneca Avenue and from Onderdonk Avenue to Forest Avenue. Number 7 is reconstruct sidewalks, curbs, and pedestrian ramps along Myrtle Avenue from Fresh Pond Road to Wyckoff Avenue. Number 8 is construct new trade vocational high school and perform capital upgrades to existing school buildings. Number 9 was to reconstruct Wyckoff Avenue from Flushing Avenue to Cooper Avenue. Number 10 was replace existing bridge on the Grand Avenue over Newtown Creek in Maspeth, which has been having a lot of closures lately with emergency work. The top 10 expense priorities, as agreed earlier in the year, assign additional personnel for the 104th Police Precinct Patrol Force. Number 2, provide field workers for Bureau of Water and Sewer Operations. Number 3 was to hire inspectors and plan examiners in sufficient numbers to cope with illegal use of property and questionable construction. Number 4 was to provide more sanitation department cleaning personnel to clean illegal dumping and for litter basket collections. Number 5, provide funding for educational and recreational programs for children and teens. Number 6, provide funding for fire department services. Number 7, provide needed services for senior citizens. Number 8, hire forestry personnel. Number 9, continue 5 times per week garbage collection and begin 5-day-a-week recycling collection at schools. Number 10 is allocate funding for the operation enhancement of the Division of Forestry in Queens. Gary would probably have some more comments on various things going on in the neighborhood right now. One of the things we are getting calls about still in the office is a lot of confusion on the bins. Just to reiterate, the bins that are needed for smaller buildings, 9 units or less, are anything 55 gallons or less that are a sealable lid. They can be put out. You do not have to have the city bin until June of 2026, but as of June of 2026, they're mandating their bins. So if there's any discrepancy, you can tell your neighbors, please just use a bin, get it out there. Right now is kind of a point where we're getting some rat reports again, so it's one of those fluctuations where rat reproduction, I should say, is at a point where they're kind of leaving the burrows and finding new nests, so that's also a point where we want to cut them off from food resources. On that same note, one of the big things that we get people coming into the office for regularly are signage for their buildings for how to do garbage. So if you can educate your neighbors, talk to your neighbors, they are starting to cite people for not putting out bins. So that, really talk to your neighbors about that. Talk to your landlords. If you are renters, tell them they need to get the bins out there, or they're going to start getting citations. They're going to start doing that soon on compost as well. And we really need to make some efforts on getting people to sort their garbage correctly. And landlords are kind of just frustrated because they're not getting cooperation and really need some help with that. So any education people can do about sorting between recycling, compost, and garbage would be great. We can't put, and right now I think the number is somewhere around about 1/3 of garbage that's going into landfill is compostable material, which creates methane gas, which is extremely bad for the environment. Any way we can get that into a process where we can turn it into soil or get a better use for it is much needed. Other than that, if you do have any comments about the expense and the capital, get them right to the office ASAP so it can go into that letter that he has to submit on behalf of the board at this point in the budget cycle. Anything for the office? Okay.
Nothing else. Next thing is committee reports, and the first committee is transportation. Eric?
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. So the committee met on January 28th at the board office. Just a quick update. The MTA plan addendum, so this is the Queens bus network redesign, was approved by the MTA board. So what you saw is actually what you got. There wasn't any more feedback. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Once it starts being implemented, we'll report back to you as far as that implementation. And, if there's any concerns, let the office know. I mean, it's passed, but that doesn't mean if there's something that doesn't work right as it's getting implemented, doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it and raise it. But something to keep in mind is the Q14, the Q38 is a split route now. So that's something that bisects our district, our community district, and it's something to keep in mind going forward as you plan your routes. Again, not implementing yet. It's not something you have to worry about tomorrow, but going forward, if that affects your commute, just keep an eye on it, and we'll report back when that implementation starts. Cypress Avenue, Vermont Place, we submitted another letter to the DOT. From our understanding of what's going on, it seems the weather has played a part in the limitation of the construction. The sidewalk construction is still in progress, so they can't put the Jersey barriers, which is essential to this working until that sidewalk's done, and my understanding is they can't pour the concrete yet. So hopefully the weather warms up and they could do that, because those Jersey barriers are huge, one, for safety, but two, because there's a huge issue there with dumping and illegal car washes. You put up the Jersey barriers, that goes away, and all of a sudden overnight the neighborhood turns into a much better place, much nicer place, and we'll have a safe pedestrian and bike path also. The committee traffic and pedestrian safety requests, as always, if you see anything in the neighborhood that looks concerning to you, contact the board office, give them the details, and we'll put it on the agenda for the next committee meeting, and we'll do the best we can to get that resolved. Then the next committee meeting, if anyone is interested in attending, is Tuesday, February 25th, so it's the last Tuesday of the month, at the Community Board office, 7:30 PM. Just please RSVP to the board office before you come, just so we could ensure we have room for everybody. So thank you very much.
Paul, your question?
Is it a question?
Give him a mic. Do you have a microphone?
Okay.
Eric, the question I have has to do with, it's actually a state issue, but it has to do with transit. The governor has sent National Guard troops to subway stations to prevent people from jumping the turnstiles. Now, if the MTA had collected all the turnstile money that they should be, you would not need congestion pricing, because that's the amount of the gap, that amount of money. The governor sent the National Guard, but they're not arresting anybody for jumping the turnstiles. They're just standing there. That doesn't make any sense. This was in the New York Post. So it seems to me that people think that the National Guard is enforcing the law, but they're not doing it. So I think it behooves us to, and send other community boards, at least in Queens, to get on the bandwagon and correct the notion that the MTA is collecting all of its fare, and it's not. There is on the books, somebody who jumps the turnstile, they should be arrested on the spot in 90 days. If you made an example out of 50 people, guess what? The problem would be resolved and congestion pricing wouldn't be needed. So I'm asking us to take that position.
Eric?
Yeah, Paul noted. You're welcome if you want. Come to the next committee meeting and maybe bring it up. Something that I've found in the few years that I've been on this committee is that there's certain issues where we can play a big role. There's other issues that fall in line of enforcement. And we could mention the enforcement, we could point that out, but it's up to the law enforcement authorities, the district attorneys, and sometimes the legislatures to act. I understand, yeah. I understand.
Not
Noted.
back and forth, folks. Okay? Any other committee reports? Any other business come before us tonight? Okay. Next meeting I have is March 12th. All right, and hopefully we'll be all able to make it on time. Walter, motion to adjourn, Walter. Who's second? Dimitro, all in favor? Any opposed? How come you didn't oppose to that?